Yesterday, I had lunch with a guy, and he revealed to me one of the ingredients for success in everything that you do. And as he was talking to me, I started thinking about the other people in my life who I'm watching them win. I'm watching them level up. I'm watching them progress and do big things. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, yeah, it's this one ingredient that I keep seeing over and over and over again. And I wanted to share that ingredient with you guys today so that you can deploy it in your life and start seeing the success that you want. But first, if you're new to the channel, my name is Travis Peters. I help Christians live a life of increase and purpose. Man, we're going to show you how to get out in front financially without living the budgeted life. In fact, I'm the only person I know that's going to help you escape the budgeted life, and every other financial person is going to put you into a budget. I don't want that for you. I want you to live big now, and I want you to live big later. I want you to create the life that you want to create, and let's increase our way there. It takes just as much faith, effort, and energy to increase your way out of debt as it does to decrease your way out of debt, so you might as well pick increase. And that's what I help Christians do. I'm going to help you find your thing. I'm going to help you discover your purpose. I'm going to help you crush it financially, get out of debt, and become wildly generous like you want to be. I'm not the person who teaches you to cut and to budget and to live small. I'm the one who says, hey, do you want to be wildly generous? Do you want to be able to go out to eat whenever you want and pay for other people's meals? If so, come hang out with us and the Increase Army. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is a binge-worthy channel. I put so much content out there. My free stuff is better than most people's paid stuff, in my opinion, which means you're going to really like our paid stuff. I have an Increase boot camp. We also call it the Increase Challenge. I want you to start there if you're new. That one's free. It's absolutely free. It's going to take you through 5 videos that are going to weed out and pull out the hidden poverty mindsets you didn't know you had that are actually keeping you stuck. So if you're financially frustrated, if you're not where you want to be financially, go through those videos. It'll show you why. It'll help you find the problem, eliminate it, and replace it with God's promise for increase. And then step number 2, come join us inside the Increase Army. We got all kinds of courses and trainings that are going to be step-by-step frameworks. We have Kingdom Money Mastery, Increase University, Discover Your Purpose Challenge. We got all kinds of cool stuff in there that are going to help you create the life you can't wait to wake up for. We even have a program that teaches you how to create passive income through some unique investment opportunities that most people don't even know exist. There's a link for that in the description below as well if you're interested. All right, so let's come back and let's talk about this ingredient for success. And it's not going to be the ingredient you think it is. This guy comes up to me. Here's the story. If he's watching this, you'll know who I'm talking about. But what happened when you were telling me this is, I was like, oh, this is the pattern. This is what I see over and over and over and over again, and it's becoming more and more prevalent in my life. Cool story. Basically, I was at a different restaurant a few months back, and I was eating lunch with a friend. This guy and his wife come up to me, and he's cool. He's a little timid, but he was like, hey, don't mean to interrupt. You're Travis Peters, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. He was saying, he was at lunch talking to his wife and said, hey, I just bought this course, Increase University, Passive Income Engines. Man, it's teaching me faith and finances. He's telling her all about it. And they look over to their right, and a few tables down, he's like, that's him. He's right there. His wife encouraged him, hey, go introduce yourself. He's like, nah, he's busy, he's got a lot going on. I don't need to be that guy. So I was like, go introduce yourself. They come over. I'm so glad they did, right? They were great. And I said, hey, it's cool. He was like, I thought maybe you lived in Tulsa based off some stuff you said, but I wasn't for sure. Man, this is so cool. And so anyway, we started a little relationship. I was like, shoot me a message, we'll talk later. So I think about a month goes by and I get a message from him. He says, hey, I know it's a bold ask, but can I take you to breakfast or lunch? I felt like our connection was divine. And I was like, okay, local guy, okay, cool. I'm not telling everybody to do that exact move, but the guy went for it and he was persistent. And I was like, all right, we'll make it happen. A couple curveballs came, we had to reschedule, but we finally had it's kind of like a brunch actually the other day. And it was great. Great time. It was awesome. But here's what was revealed. And I'm so glad he asked and invited and persisted. Turns out his wife had to push him a little bit just to ask that. And that's fine. That's cool. My point is, here's what I'm getting at, guys. I'm listening to his story. And this is a guy, he's about my age, and he's married, 4 kids, started a business, and moved here for ministry, for a church that God called him to be planted in. He did not move here to try to make more money or to move here for the business side of things. And so I'm like, okay, let's talk about that for a minute, because that's like pulling on my heartstrings. That's a man after my own heart, is somebody who moves. We hear all the time people moving for business, moving for money, moving for a job. You move these cities, you climb the corporate ladder. And really it's just chasing a bunch of mammon, a bunch of deceitful riches and all that kind of stuff. But here's a man who moved for ministry. Now you got my attention. Now I'm starting to see there's a little bit something special to this guy, okay? That's the type of thing. People who actually put God first. A lot of people think they do, but their actions, their words, and their checkbooks do not prove that they put God first. It seems like if you were to look at your time, your efforts, your actions, your energy, your money, and all that, where you put everything, it's like they put it all into work, money, and business, and their leftovers go to church, God, and things like this. Well, here's another guy who truly puts this stuff first, if you will, this stuff. So we're talking, and he's telling me about his time and how he spends his mornings and how he spends his lunch breaks and his evenings and all this different stuff. And it's all, I'm getting in the Word. I bought this course. He's bought, I think, all of my programs. He's got my books. He's talking about, hey, I joined Jim Bakker's Wealth with God program, and it was awesome. Hey, I joined this School of Ministry program. Hey, I did this. And here's the theme, guys. He's learning. He's developing. He's working on himself. He's growing and developing in these things of God. He's working on his skill sets. He also joined a marketing program and a business thing, and he's working on himself. These are the types of people that I see over and over and over. They join a mastermind program. They pay for coaching. They pay for mentorship. And yes, they're Christians and they pay for this stuff. Oh, shouldn't it be free? Wealthy people don't think like that, guys. Wealthy people invest in themselves. They will pay to have these shortcuts in their lives. If you can get a coach, you want a coach. He's going to help you avoid the pitfalls and the traps that they went in so that you can fly faster and further. Okay? This stuff matters. And I'm telling you, as somebody who has been in the coaching and consulting world for years, it is a common denominator, a common thread of people who increase and have success faster and better than others. Is they were in a program, they were in a coaching program, they bought a course, they bought a bunch of books, they gave attention to the things of faith. Man, they start their day in the Word. They don't start their day with email. They don't start their day with business. They start their day with God. And I'm being surrounded by people, pillars of the faith like this in my life. God's bringing them to me. And it's been phenomenal. And here's another guy that God brought into my life who had these same qualities, characteristics, and ingredients. So after talking with him, he's probably the 8th or 9th person that I have recently realized it's always these types of people who rise to the top. There's a phrase, the cream of the crop. I think that's right. They're rising to the top. If you look at life and people in layers, most people, the big layer, are just going to live an average life. And this is all by choice. This isn't, divine, this was your lot in life and you're stuck there. This is just because most people don't want to do hard things. Most people are kind of lazy. Most people don't have a vision. What it really is they don't have a vision for something better. A vision just means a preferred picture of your future. And a lot of people don't have that. They've let hopelessness steal that. They've let the enemy steal that. They don't dream anymore. They've been stuck in paycheck to paycheck so long that they're just thrilled to get their bills paid. And that's like, man, if I can just If I get to make enough money to pay my bills, I am pumped. And look, I get it. I've had those thoughts too, but the problem is if you don't elevate past that, your life's going to go like this, and then you're going to die. And that's all you did. You just survived while you were down here. And that's not God's plan for you to just survive and go to heaven. It's for you to thrive, crush it, and expand the kingdom, and then go to heaven and get promoted to general status and go crush it while you're up in heaven now. That's what you're supposed to do. It's a way more fun way to live down here too. God said you can bring earth onto heaven. Nope, heaven onto earth. Matthew 6, Jesus said, here's how you pray. On earth as it is in heaven. I'm trying to get you guys to experience that. It's real. It's characteristic. I go out to dinner a couple nights ago with my mastermind group. And here's what's interesting. It's this almost a law. I'm going to make it up right now, but like the law of the layers or something. Is you got this row of average people. And again, it's by choice. But then you have a few who are going to say, you know what? I don't want this. I want something better. Look, you work your day job at a bank. You've been there for 15 years. You're trying to climb the corporate ladder. You're almost making six figures. Maybe you're making like 125K or something. And it's just like, okay, I guess, but you can't say God called me here. You can't say I'm fulfilled here. You can't say this is what I want to do here. You're dreaming of other things. You're dreaming of businesses you wish you could start and books you could write and stuff you want to do. I'm trying to move you into those things. So what you have to do is be like my friends. These are the guys who are continually buying courses. They're going to seminars. When's the last seminar you went to? We go to several per year because I know what it does for me and my family. Yeah, it's a little bit of sacrifice financially, time-wise, and I got to be away from my family sometimes for a little bit. But there's a little bit, when I do that, I don't do it all the time, and I'm strategic on the ones I go to, but when I do this, I come back better, elevated, leveled up, which makes me a better husband, makes me a better provider, makes me a better father, makes me a better friend, makes me a better steward, makes me a better everything. These people who do this are the ones who rise to the top. So I'm listening to this guy at brunch, and he's financially crushing it. His business is now in multiple states. He's got it to where it's pretty much running by itself. He doesn't really have to do much. His time is now more freed up to focus on what God has called him to do. This is where I want you to live, but I need you to do these ingredients because you want this end result, but you're not putting in the work to get there. And here's the thing about putting in the work. I'm telling you, this is how God designed it. Putting in the work isn't hard. It's not a grudge. It's not a drudge. It's not toil. It's not even painful. You actually enjoy it as soon as you start moving in it. There might be some obstacles. There might be some hurdles. There might be some things where it's like, hey, this program costs 10 grand. What do I do? Instead of saying, no, I can't afford it, you go to God and say, I want to do this program. Lord, I feel like you want me to do this program. I need the 10 grand. Give me a strategy for the 10 grand. Person who thinks like that will not lose. You can't lose if you think that way. In 1 Corinthians 9, Paul says, you got to run this race as one who wins, but most of you running this race just to pay your bills. It's not a winner. That's a survivor. Don't be a survivor. Be someone who dominates. That was your original marching orders from God in Genesis 1:28. He says, God blessed you and then told you a command. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, fill the earth, subdue and dominate. Most of you guys aren't subduing, you're dominating. Let's subdue and dominate. That's what these people are doing, and they're rising to the top. I'm telling you, it's a key ingredient. This is how I've lived my life for about the past 12 years or so. So I started investing in myself. I started buying programs, buying coaching, buying books. Listen, if you got to be at work at 8 o'clock and you get up at 7:20, stumble around, and the first thing you do is get in your car and drive to work, you're going to get your butt kicked that day. You need to get your mornings dialed in. You need to show that you actually want increase in your life. You want to show that you want to advance and progress in this life. It means you're going to have to do something different. And I'm trying to bring this out of you guys. I'm trying to show you that there's more. If you've got a preferred picture of what you want your future to be like, hey, listen, I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You need to put your foot down. You need to say, I'm tired of going to a job that I hate. I'm tired of hitting snooze 14 times in the morning and just being like, ugh, what am I doing with my life? I'm tired of having this dream of a business for the last 15 years that I haven't started. This dream of this ministry for helping orphans or sex trafficked people, and you haven't started it and you're just sitting on it for years. What are you doing? You got to do something different. You need a vision of what you want your life to look like. Man, I want to be able to give to every good work like it promises in 2 Corinthians 9:8. Man, there's someone who comes to the door the other day and they're asking for this charity, and I really wanted to give, but I didn't have any money, so I couldn't. I'm tired of living that way. I want, when Christmas time comes, I want my floor flooded with presents for my kids, my spouse, my nieces and nephews, my friends. Man, I'm around this guy, and every time he comes over, he brings me a gift. When I don't ever think like that. I want to be like that guy. That guy exudes generosity. I want to be like that, God. What do I do? What's my strategy? What scriptures do I need to stand on? What promises do I need to stand on? What do I need to be believing? Are y'all thinking like that? Or are you just victim of your circumstance? Oh, I didn't go to college, so I have to get this kind of job, and that job doesn't pay well, so I'm just kind of stuck. I'm just going to have to learn to live with less. Are you even a Christian? Have you even opened this book? I love you, but we got to step up, you guys. That's what I'm trying to get you to say. These people who are rising to the top, and I see it over and over and over again, it's always this common pattern. Hey, I had 10 grand in my bank account. It was my savings, and I've spent all 10 grand on this coaching program. But look where I am now. Man, I had to borrow money. I had to go, there was a mastermind group and met at this dude's house in California. It was 15 grand. I had to borrow money to get there. But when I got there, what I learned made me way over 15 grand, paid for itself in 60 days, and we were good to go. Now I have that skill set forever, and I make at least 30 grand a month, every single month, because I took a risk, I got into debt a little bit, and went to this deal. But I took action. These types of people rise to the top. Come on. Man, that's what I'm talking about. The other day, there was a group I meet with, group of younger business guys that kind of work with, kind of help, kind of encourage, coach a little bit. And they, one night in particular, almost everyone couldn't make it. So I said, there's a group text, and I said, I can make it. One other guy said he could make it, but everyone else bailed. That guy texts me on the side and says, hey, can I take you out to dinner? No cap, anywhere you want, whatever it costs. Can I just take you out to dinner? And I thought, this dude's smart. This is a smart guy right here. Because I believe this in myself. If you have dinner with me, lunch with me, hang out with me, you will make more money. The increase on my life is going to rub off on you, and I'm going to give you an idea or a confirmation or something you hadn't thought about. If implemented, will go make you more money. So this guy takes me out for dinner, and we're having a good time. He's awesome. We're having a great conversation, and we start talking about his particular business. I let him know what I think about it, and I let him know. He asked for my advice. I gave him my advice. I had a similar business at one point. I said, here's what I did. Here's what I suggest for you. Here's a new tactic when you're talking to a prospect that will help them trust you, and you'll close more deals if you do it this way. Well, I get a text about a week later, and he goes, man, thank you so much. He thanked me that day, but then he thanked me again about a week later because he sat down with a prospect, used what I taught him, and closed the deal like that. This guy's talented. This guy has a great offer. It helps people. But he was having a hard time communicating that. And so when he sat down with a prospect, they'd be like, well, let me think about it. But I showed him what to do to get them to say, I'm in, let's go. And he implemented it. It's exactly what happened. And it added another $1,000 a month to his recurring revenue. So he spent $75 on dinner. But look, he asked, he took an action, he invested money, he invested time. It was a bold ask to ask me, at least, in some people's eyes, a bold ask to ask me to dinner like that. But now he's added an extra $1,000 a month. His average client stays 8 months. So his $75 investment and time and note taking has now made him $8,000. These type of people rise to the top. He also is in a coaching program that cost, I think, $9,000 or $10,000 when he didn't necessarily have the money. I have another friend who was living, he has a business, but it was pretty tight. It was basically paycheck to paycheck every single month, 4 months. He found a coach, a YouTube coach, and the coach cost $12,000 for a setup fee, and then $8,000 a month for a year. And here's a person. Now I want you to imagine, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, I want you to commit in your mind to an $8,000 increase in your expenses for 1 year. My boy did it. He committed to it, and he made it happen. He got with God and said, God, we have this new expense. What do we do? And every single month, he had new ideas. He had new marketing campaigns. He implemented what his coach taught him, and he by far made that $8,000 a month easily payment every single month. Now, here we are a year later. He's elevated above that. He makes way more than that now because he invested in this, put the time into it, put the skin in the game. Most Christians aren't thinking like this, but my friend is rising to the top. My friends, you put this word first. You make some bold moves. Things that usually stop you, you're going to say yes to it this time. You're going to get with God, and he's going to help you. James 1:5 says, if you need wisdom regarding anything, ask God. He loves to help. I was thinking about James 4, verse 2. And it says, the simple one here, you do not have because you do not ask. This guy came and introduced himself to me while I was at lunch. And he asked if we could start, messaging and communicating. Yes. He asked me if he could take me to breakfast. Yeah. The other guy who asked me for the business advice to take me to dinner. These people are asking. I'm not telling you to ask me per se, but I am saying, where can you implement this? They're making bold moves. They are asking. They are investing in themselves, and they're running their race as one who wins. You have to do something different. A lot of you guys are stuck in a rut, and it's not going to lead you down the path you want it to lead you down. I actually want you to get stuck in a rut, but I want you to get stuck in a success rut where you are used to doing things like this. I get up early. I put God's word first. I don't check my phone first. I have to tell people this. If you are still checking email first thing or social media first thing, you will not win. Don't do that. It puts your mind in a weird state. I'll give you an example. The other day, I slept in till 5:45. And I know that that's super early to most people. But for me, it's sleeping in. I slept in till 5:45. Well, I have a group Zoom call that I'm a part of at 6 a.m. every single morning. Again, that's another thing. We do stuff like this. I have a group call I'm part of. So I basically started my day with that Zoom. Problem was, I'm getting texts because of another program that I run. The people running it needed this, needed that, needed this, and it was all fine. It was all good, but it distracted me. And so here's the problem. I started my day in the battle zone. I talk about this inside of our Increase University. I tell you how to structure your mornings in a way that makes your success inevitable. But I got off of that. And so the rest of the day, I'm like on defense, on my heels. There are a couple things that like my kids did that irritated me. And then this other guy kind of bugged me. And like, I was just in a weird funk all day, which I normally am not. And at the end of the day, I was like, God, why was today so hard? And it just reminded me, I didn't get in the Word. I didn't start my day in the Word. I got a little bit of Word in at the evening. I ran on the treadmill, but I had my day all backwards. And it just wasn't great. People who are intentional to make their day great, who start their day with God and keep God with them all day long, you can't lose. You develop in yourself. You're putting skin in the game. You're investing in yourself. You can believe in yourself. You know why? You've got God in you. I'm trying to give you the exact ingredients. I feel like I'm giving you the ethereal ingredients. The exact ingredients for success in these people that I keep seeing rise to the top. It's the same story over and over and over again. I invested in this coaching program. I did what they said, and now I got the results they promised. The people who, there's two types. Oh, I would never invest in something like that. It's all a scam. Okay, cool. We're going to talk in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, and you're here right now. You might be here because you climbed the corporate ladder, but you missed out on life. The people who have the hockey stick, growth curve, astronomical results do things different. They go all in and say, I'm going to do what my coach says. I'm going to go crush it. I'm going to buy this course. I'm going to get this program. I don't care what it costs. 20 grand, we'll figure it out. Doesn't matter. 100 grand, we'll figure it out. My buddy, 8 grand a month for a year, we'll figure it out. It will give me the results I want because I'm going to make sure it does. That's a different type of person. Oh man, I'm running out of time. I try to keep these at 30 minutes. That just reminded me, I believe it's in Numbers 13. Listen to this. This is exactly what it is. This is where the Israelites are going to Canaan, the promised land. You want your promised land? That's where the money is. That's where the grace is. That's where the fulfillment is. That's where the promise is. That's what you want, right? Well, the 12 spies go up there. They see the giants, just saying, hey, there's going to be battles once you get there. It's cool, though. God already promised them the victory. God told them there will be battles, but he told them you'll win. So it's the same for you. There's going to be battles, but you're going to win. Caleb goes up there, and he says, he sees the giants. The other people are freaking out and said, look at those giants. We're going to lose. What are we doing? This is stupid. Caleb says, no, let's go at once. We can take the land. Let's go get this thing. He's fired up. He's pumped. He believed God. Everybody else didn't. And one of the scriptures, I believe I must have it highlighted in one of my other books, but it says that Caleb had a different spirit. There was something different about Caleb because Caleb was like, I'm going to go get it. These are the people that are rising to the top in my life. These are the Calebs. These are the people who say, I'm going to go get it. Most people are living like the rest of them. Hey, I don't want to do that business because, man, taxes are going to be tough. Man, I don't know how to have employees. Man, we can't do that. Man, there's so many licenses you got to get. Man, you got to do this. I'd have to go learn that. I'd have to, man, 20 grand for a coaching program. That's stupid. But I'll go gladly spend 140 grand to go to college for 6 years doing something in a degree I don't even want anyway, and I'll pay up on it for the next 30 years. That's cool. I'll do that. But to pay 20 grand for a coaching program that's going to give me the exact step-by-step frameworks and the coach and the results and the course that I want to live the life I want, no, that's stupid. That's bad stewardship. Oh my goodness, you're talking like the scared Israelites had to go wander in the desert for 40 years after their fear-based thoughts. Man, we're looking for people like Caleb with that different spirit. Let's get after it. Let's go win today. What do you need to do? What do you need to invest in? You need to invest in yourself. You need to go learn a skill. You need to put yourself in a different environment. You need to get around people who think higher than you, who have higher results than you. Go get around them. You'll get those results as well. That's what God keeps bringing into my life. These people are rising to the top. And something great and something big and something powerful is happening in the kingdom right now. I love you guys. Make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. It'll sign you up to see all kinds of videos like this coming out all the time. Get on my email list. Take the challenge. Join me in the army. Let's go do big things. I want you to win. I love you. And I'll see you in the next one.